Once upon a time, in a land shrouded in myth and legend, there was a powerful demon king named Hiranyakashyap. His name struck fear into the hearts of all who heard it. Hiranyakashyap was not just any ruler, he was a being of immense strength and unparalleled cruelty. His very presence was enough to make the bravest of warriors tremble. His desire for power knew no bounds. He demanded that every person in his kingdom worship him as the supreme deity. Temples that once echoed with prayers to the gods now resounded with chants of his name. Hiranyakashyap's arrogance was fueled by a special boon he had received from Lord Brahma. This boon granted him near immortality, making him almost impossible to defeat by any mortal or god. With this divine protection, Hiranyakashyap felt invincible. He believed that no force in the universe could challenge his authority or diminish his power. His arrogance grew with each passing day. He considered himself superior to the gods and looked down upon them with disdain. In his eyes, he was the ultimate ruler of the cosmos. To solidify his control, Hiranyakashyap issued decrees banning the worship of any deity other than himself. The people of his kingdom, once free to worship as they pleased, now lived in constant fear of his wrath. The atmosphere in the kingdom was one of terror. The subjects cowered before their ruler, their faces etched with fear and despair. They knew that defiance meant certain death. Yet in his quest for absolute power, Hiranyakashyap forgot a fundamental truth. Real strength does not come from brute force or fear. It comes from goodness, compassion, and righteousness. Under his cruel rule, the people suffered immensely. Their lives were filled with hardship and sorrow. The once thriving villages and towns now lay in ruins, a testament to his tyranny. Desperate and oppressed, the people turned to the heavens for salvation. They prayed fervently for a savior, someone who could end their suffering and restore peace to their land. Their prayers echoed through the ages, a cry for justice and hope. Hiranyakashyap had a son named Prahlad. Prahlad was a kind and gentle soul. He was deeply devoted to Lord Vishnu. He believed in Vishnu's power and love. Prahlad refused to worship his father. He knew it was wrong. This angered Hiranyakashyap greatly.
Prahlad, Vishnu is not real. Only power matters.
But Prahlad refused to listen. He knew in his heart that Lord Vishnu was the true god. Hiranyakashyap, the mighty and ruthless king, decided to punish his own son Prahlad. The young boy's unwavering devotion to Lord Vishnu infuriated him. He could not tolerate the idea of his son worshipping someone other than himself. The king's heart was filled with rage and jealousy, and he was determined to break Prahlad's spirit. He wanted to scare Prahlad into submission, to make him renounce his faith in Lord Vishnu. Hiranyakashyap believed that fear was the most powerful weapon he could wield. He thought that by instilling terror in Prahlad's heart, he could force him to abandon his devotion. In his first attempt, Hiranyakashyap ordered his guards to throw Prahlad off a steep cliff. The king watched with a cruel smile as his son was taken to the edge, believing that the fall would surely end Prahlad's life and his devotion. But to Hiranyakashyap's astonishment, Lord Vishnu intervened. As Prahlad was thrown off the cliff, a divine light enveloped him, protecting him from harm. The young boy fell gently, as if cradled by invisible hands. He landed safely on a bed of soft grass, completely unharmed. The miraculous event left the onlookers in awe, but it only fueled Hiranyakashyap's anger further.
This is not enough! Hiranyakashyap fumed. His frustration grew as he realized that his son's faith was unshaken. He needed a new plan, something more drastic and terrifying. "We need to try something else," he declared to his advisors. They whispered among themselves, plotting the next cruel attempt to break Prahlad's spirit.
Hiranyakashyap then devised a new, more sinister plan. He decided to burn Prahlad alive, believing that the flames would succeed where the fall had failed. He ordered his sister, Holika, to sit in a fire with Prahlad. Holika had a special boon, a magical shawl that made her immune to fire. The king was confident that this time Prahlad would not escape. Holika, wearing her magical shawl, took Prahlad in her lap and sat in the midst of the roaring flames. The fire blazed around them, and Hiranyakashyap watched with anticipation, certain that his son would be consumed by the inferno. But once again, divine intervention occurred. As the flames rose higher, the magical shawl flew off Holika and wrapped itself around Prahlad. Holika, now unprotected, was engulfed by the fire and burned to ashes. Prahlad, shielded by the divine shawl, remained unharmed, sitting serenely amidst the flames. This miraculous event further demonstrated the power of Prahlad's unwavering faith and the protection of Lord Vishnu. Hiranyakashyap was furious. He didn't understand how Prahlad survived.
Where is Vishnu hiding?
Lord Vishnu is everywhere. He is in every atom of creation.
Hiranyakashyap laughed.
Is your Vishnu in this pillar too?
Yes, he is.
Suddenly, the pillar shattered with a deafening roar. Out stepped Lord Vishnu in his Narasimha avatar, a fearsome half-man, half-lion form. Narasimha was furious with Hiranyakashyap's cruelty. The Demon King had tormented the people for far too long, spreading fear and suffering across the land. His reign was marked by oppression and tyranny, and the cries of the innocent reached the heavens, calling for divine intervention.
Enough of your tyranny, Hiranyakashyap. Your time of ruling with an iron fist is over. The people have suffered enough under your cruel reign, and justice will be served today.
He grabbed Hiranyakashyap and carried him to the threshold of the palace. This was a significant moment, as the threshold represented a boundary, a place that was neither inside nor outside. It was a clever move by Narasimha, fulfilling the terms of Brahma's boon that Hiranyakashyap could not be killed inside or outside any building. It was neither inside nor outside, fulfilling the terms of Brahma's boon. This loophole in the boon was crucial, as it allowed Narasimha to bypass the seemingly invincible protection that Hiranyakashyap had received. The Demon King had believed himself to be invulnerable, but his arrogance had blinded him to the possibility of divine justice.
What is this place? How dare you? Hiranyakashyap's voice was filled with rage and disbelief. He could not comprehend how his carefully crafted boon had been outwitted. His arrogance and sense of invincibility were shattered in that moment.
There at twilight, Narasimha placed Hiranyakashyap on his lap and tore him apart with his sharp claws. The twilight hour was another critical element, as it was neither day nor night, further adhering to the conditions of the boon. Narasimha's form, half man and half lion, was also a key factor, as Hiranyakashyap could not be killed by any man or beast. The Demon King was finally defeated. His reign of terror was brought to an end by the divine justice of Narasimha. The people who had lived in fear for so long could finally breathe a sigh of relief. The land was free from the clutches of tyranny.
Justice is served, the balance of the universe was restored, and the scales of justice tipped in favor of the righteous. The divine intervention had ensured that good triumphed over evil.
And so, the reign of terror came to an end. The people rejoiced, and the story of Narasimha's victory over Hiranyakashyap became a timeless tale of the triumph of good over evil. It served as a reminder that no matter how powerful evil may seem, justice and righteousness will always prevail in the end. Prahlad was overjoyed to see Lord Vishnu.
Thank you, my lord, for saving me.
Lord Vishnu blessed Prahlad for his unwavering faith and courage.
Your devotion and bravery shall be remembered, Prahlad.
The story of Prahlad and Hiranyakashyap teaches us many important lessons. It teaches us about the importance of faith and devotion.
Faith can move mountains, and courage can conquer the greatest of evils.
Indeed, Prahlad's story is a timeless reminder of these virtues.
Prahlad never lost faith in Lord Vishnu, even when he was in danger. His devotion was so strong that it protected him from all harm.
This shows us that faith can move mountains. It also teaches us about the power of good over evil. Even though Hiranyakashyap was very powerful, he was eventually defeated by Lord Vishnu.
Prahlad's story teaches us to always stand up for what is right, even when it's difficult. Prahlad never wavered in his devotion to Lord Vishnu, even when his own father threatened him.
This story reminds us that truth and goodness always prevail in the end. It inspires us to be courageous and to always have faith, even in the face of adversity. The tale of Prahlad and Hiranyakashyap is a reminder that the battle between good and evil is eternal. It rages within us and around us. We all have a Prahlad and a Hiranyakashyap within us. The choice is ours. Will we choose the path of anger, ego, and hate? Or will we choose the path of love, compassion, and faith?
Prahlad's story is an inspiration for all. He teaches us that even a child can be a beacon of faith and courage.
His legacy reminds us to hold on to our beliefs, stay true to our values, and never give up hope, for divine justice will always prevail.